Hey, what's going on YouTube? Gary here, gzduel, here to bring you guys the deck profile of my Machine Mayhem Malefic deck. And I got this idea from Slim X Team Symmetry over a year ago, so this is not my original idea. I'm just like trying to revive it so that it could work against the meta today. And I think it has a pretty good chance too, and I'll tell you guys why. But first, let me get into the deck profile. I have two um, Ancient Gear Gatron Dragons, 2 Karkar D, 2 Chaos Hunters, 3 Machina Fortress, 3 Machina Gear Frame, 3 Malefic Cyber End Dragon, 1 Book of Moon, 2 Forbidden Lance, 3 Gear Town, 1 Limiter Removal, 3 Mystical Space Typhoon, 2 Necro Valley, 3 Terraforming, and 1 Seal for Calcos. For the traps, we have 2 Bottomless Trap Hole, 3 Compulsory Evacuation Device, 3 Skill Drain, and 1 Starlight Road. For the extra deck, we have 3 Cyber End Dragon, 1 Stardust Dragon, 1 Diamond Dar Wolf, Gaga Cowboy, Gaia Dragon Thunder Charger, Gem Knight Pearl, Maze Stroke Symphony de Jin, 2 Mecha Phantom Beast Draco Sack, 1 Big Eye, 1 Utopia, 1 Black Ship of Corn, and 1 Utopia Ray. For the side deck, we have 3 Drone Lockbirds, 3 Electric Virus, 3 Puppet Plant, 3 Prohibition, and 3 Eradicator Epidemic Virus. Alright, so how can this deck, this mishmash of like machines and fiends and stuff and malefics work against the meta today? Well, inherently within this deck, there are 2 elements that stop most of the top meta decks from being like live. First of all, you have Chaos Hunter inherent within this. I play Chaos Hunter because it is a virus target. I play Chaos Hunter because it's so good against the meta. It stops your opponent from, removing cards from the graveyard, or no, not even from the graveyard. Just cannot banish cards. And Chaos Hunter is also awesome because it's a level 7, so I run Machina Fortress, and sometimes if I really needed to, I can go for a rank 7 Exceed. I can go into my own Draco Sack, or I can go into my own Big Eye. It's just really, really broken. So that's one element. The other element is the Necro Valley element that is really anti-meta, because your opponent cannot move cards from the graveyard. So that means they cannot banish cards from the graveyard, they cannot add cards from the graveyard to the hand, or add cards from the graveyard to the deck, except by the monster or card effect's own effect. So, if your Dragon Ruler tries to banish, or if the Spellbook of Fate tries to banish, it won't work because, I have Necro Valley first of all, and I have Chaos Hunter, so it's like inherently anti-meta. And second of all, the third element that's anti-meta and also a bit anti-rogue is the skill drain element of this deck. Because, a lot of decks, all the decks these days, they depend on, field effects. Now, if you shut that down with skill drain, then a lot of decks are in a lot of trouble. So if you shut down, if you're playing against Fire Fists, if they're still alright, then if you activate skill drain, they really can't do much against you. They don't have, like, they can tanky all they want. They can tanky, they can go into like bear, they can go into gorilla, and they can try to destroy your monster, they can do damage. But if you skill drain their monsters, they can't add more fire formation cards. They cannot set any of those. They cannot like set them from the deck, and they cannot go into any Exceed that would help them out either. Skill drain would shut down Diamond Dar Wolf. Skill drain would shut down the Fire King. No, not Fire King. The Exceed that Fire Fist they play. And so, like, skill drain shuts down like meta decks as well. If your opponent tries to summon the Spellbook Magician, you use skill drain, they can't search for their next Spellbook card. If your opponent has like Jowgen, you can use skill drain, and Jowgen's effect will get turned off. So will Ophion. Skill drain is just really good, and you have all of these big monsters to back up your skill drain. You have Malefic Cyberhand, which is a free 4,000 attack monster. You have these 2,500 attack Machina Fortresses that can come back and recur, even under Necro Valley, because they recur on their own effect, as long as you can pay the cost. You have these Ancient Gear Gadgetron Dragons, 3,000 attack. You can get it out easily by destroying one of your gear towns. So it's really nice. This whole deck works in like a perfect synergy, and even when you have Machina Gear Frame, it's really awesome because if you have Machina Gear Frame and you have Cyber Dragon is also machine, so you can actually use Machina Gear Frame's effect to equip onto Malefic Cyber Dragon, so you can prevent it from being destroyed once. And if you don't have a field card, Malefic Cyber Dragon, since it is a machine, you can discard it as a level 10 monster as a cost to revive back a Machina Fortress. So all of these work together. Even Car D is a machine monster, and this machine monster is a level 2, so if you have a Car D in your hand, and if you have a Machina Fortress, and you don't really want to use the Car D's effect, what you can do is you can pitch both Machina Fortress and Car D, and you can still special summon out that Machina Fortress. So all the deck works in perfect synergy. And even if, sorry if I'm a bit sick, even if like you have Chaos Hunter in your hand and you have a Machina Fortress, and if you really want to special summon out your Chaos Hunter, just pitch the Machina Fortress, so that the Machina Fortress, even in the graveyard, you can have access to it with a big monster, say Malefic Cyber Dragon, or a Gadgetron Dragon that you've drawn, and you can special summon out the Chaos Hunter. And you've shut down your opponent's play, next turn, you can use pay the cost, special summon out Machina Fortress, and then after that, you can go for a rank 7 Exceed. Deck is really awesome. And I don't know if I should talk about any of these other choices. The 3 compulsory evacuation devices are just there so that you have a better matchup against decks that stall. Not that you already don't have one. Like if your opponent goes into Zenmaines or Gachi and you have like skill drain, you can still like get rid of their thing easily. But if your opponent has Draco Sack or whatever, and they're trying to use the Draco Sack to destroy something vital to your strategy, if they're trying to tribute Draco Sack himself to destroy the skill drain, or they're trying to tribute to destroy the Necro Valley, or they're trying to tribute to destroy the Chaos Hunter, then definitely you can compulse back their monster, and then they would have had to waste all of their resources again just to get out the Draco Sack. So that's really good. And I just want to talk about how good limiter removal is. There are games where I just attack with the Malefic Cyber Dragon directly, and I ask my opponent for a response. My opponent doesn't have a response. Now during damage step, I activate limiter removal. That's 8,000 direct damage, and that's game most of the time. So it's really good. It just steals game sometimes. If your opponent tries to attack into your Machina Gear Frame, your Machina Gear Frame becomes 3,600 attack into your Machina Fortress, your Fortress becomes 5,000 attack. There's no reason why you shouldn't run this, because all of your monsters except for Chaos Hunter are machines. Okay, I want to talk about the side deck. The side deck is really, really weird. Sometimes I question myself too. Like, if you think about it, I run 3 Drone Lockbirds, 3 Electric Virus, 3 Puppet Plant. So, like, there's like 9 hand traps. And there's specific hand traps too. So, Drone Lockbird only hurts certain decks. They're not like ubiquitous side deck cards. So, why am I running this? Well, the reason why is because my main deck is so filled with generic anti-meta cards, like Skill Drain, like Chaos Hunter, like Necro Valley. All of these things are mained. So why am I running these tech hand traps? It's because I'll have a better, more favorable matchup against decks that I feel like are faster than my deck, or like can give my deck significant trouble. So if my opponent has like Prophecy and they go first turn, they go into Jowgen, right? I can't really do much against that Jowgen, really. Like, if I'm lucky, I'll probably be able to summon out a Machina Gear Frame and get it faded. And once I get faded, I'll have to overextend, go into I can't go into anything else. I can't special summon, right? So I can't special summon the fortress that I search. I can't do anything else. All my one out on that first turn is Machina Gear Frame, and it will get faded. And so what am I supposed to do? Now, of course, I can try to play Book of Moon, but my opponent will probably have the Wisdom. So, I'll have a terrible matchup against that. So what am I going to do? I'm going to try to play Puppet Plant, so that if my opponent has Jowgen first turn, I sided in Puppet Plant. I can pitch Puppet Plant, get the Jowgen, and then what is he gonna fate? His own Jowgen? He's not gonna do that. So what am I gonna do after that? I'm gonna try to do my Machina Gear Frame play, and then do damage, and now I have my Gear Frame, and probably I can play out of it. Or if that's not enough, I'll side in these Drone Lockbirds as well, so that they won't even get Jowgen in the first place, so that they can't add cards to their hand, so that they can't use the spell Book of Judgment. So Prophecy is definitely a terrible matchup for me. And second of all, I run Eradicator Epidemic Virus. These things are great because Chaos Hunter, they're dark, and Malefic Cyber Dragon, they're dark, and I can get numerous access to like Big Eye and stuff like that. So these things will become live, and I use these against Prophecy. I feel like Prophecy is one of my worst matchups because it's just simply too fast. And also, I play Electric Virus. Electric Virus is good for a couple of reasons. It's good because you can steal their Draco Sack. You can do that really cool play I talked about all the time. You can steal one of their dragons even because their dragons are level 7. I can special summon back a Machina Fortress, and I can go for a rank 7 exceed of my own just by using Electric Virus and special summoning back a Machina Fortress. So that's also really good. Third of all, Electric Virus can try to steal Ophion. Sometimes Ophion is a problem because I do have these high level monsters that want to get special summoned out. But of course, I do have skill drain, so hopefully that turns off Ophion sometimes. Or if I can chain into using compulsory evacuation device, that would be also very, very awesome. But other than that, I really need some help against dragons, against Ophion, against Prophecy. So I also run these ubiquitous prohibitions. Prohibitions are really awesome because you can call Draco Sack and your opponent can't do much with the other cards that they have. Sure, they can go for rank 7 exceeds, but we're gonna go for it. Big Eye, sure you can go for Light and Darkness Dragon. Of course you can do that. But if I summon out one of my Malefic Cyberbrand Dragons, I'm not using an effect. I'm just special summoning the Malefic Cyberbrand Dragon, and I attack into your Light and Darkness Dragon with measly 2,800 attack with my 4,000 attack monster. What is your Light and Darkness Dragon gonna do except die, right? And if you call Spellbook of Judgment, then Prophecies gets frozen. If you call Megalo, then Mermails get frozen. If you call Tenki, or if you call Bear, then Fire Fist, they get shut down too. So Prohibition is really good. And sometimes you can use Prohibition defensively too. If you have all the things set, if you have Necro Valley, you have Skill Drain, and you even have a bottomless trap hole, but you don't have that Starlight Road, you can say Prohibition into the dark hole. Sorry, no, not dark hole. Heavy storm, and then you would be protected. It's almost as if it is a Starlight Road by itself. So that's why I play Prohibition. It's ubiquitous enough to be used against all the meta decks, and it can be used offensively and defensively, and that's why I like it. Okay. Also, I want to talk about one tech thing about Puppet Plant that I really love about Puppet Plant. Recently, I've been playing on Dueling Network, and a lot of people have been playing this Utopia ZW weapon type of deck. And it's so satisfying to use Puppet Plant to steal their Utopia and then overlay for my own Utopia Ray so that they don't get their Utopia back. All the things that they equip, they're done. They're not useful anymore. So they've used all those resources to get out Utopia, all those Zexal weapon thingies, and with one card, with this Puppet Plant, this one card, I steal it and I overlay one of my Utopia Ray. It's just really satisfying to see that happen. So I hope you guys enjoy this deck profile. Give me suggestions, definitely. I'm still looking to tweak this deck. I like it so far just because it's really good against the meta, really good against rogue decks. At times it might be a bit slow, that's why the card D's in here. At times where if you have a low monster count, but the gear challenge they make up for it. But regardless, tell me what you guys think about this deck. I hope to learn from you guys a lot. And this is Gary, gzduels, signing out.